So I'm going to start off with foundation, and this is just the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind foundation, and I'm applying that with a brush. Next, I'm using this concealer crayon and translucent powder to prep my eyelids. Next, I'm going to use this burgundy shade as a transition color. And then I'm using this single eyeshadow to make it less harsh. It turned out a bit more red than I expected, so I'm using the brown to soften it. And then I'm going to take a darker brown to darken the edges, and I'm using that only on the outer corner. So for the eyes, I wanted to create a kind of gradient gold look. So for the first shade, I'm using this loose glitter in the shade Honeysuckle. It's almost completely white, and I'm applying that to like the inner 1/3-ish of my eye. Then I'm taking a more true gold, like this is a very pure gold. It's from the same brand as the first color I used, and I'm putting that on the center of my eyelid. Lastly, I'm applying this dark brownish gold. The clip that I actually had was out of focus, so I didn't bother putting it in. But then I'm taking a highlighter and using that on the inner corner and to intensify the first color that I used. And this is going really fast, but I'm taking the black eyeshadow and I'm putting it a little bit above my crease to define it a bit more. I kind of regret going in with the black because it was really difficult to blend, but I eventually did it with the first blending brush that I used. So for the face, I'm using the LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Chestnut under my eyes, and then to make it a bit brighter for a highlight color, I'm using the e.l.f. Concealer in the shade Medium to highlight my entire face. And I'm also doing my smile line so that area doesn't look like sunken in. If it doesn't look like this by the time you're done, you're doing it wrong. So here I'm just setting it with some banana powder, and I'm just setting all the areas that I highlighted. And I'm not baking necessarily, but just using the sponge to kind of push in the powder. Here I'm just using translucent powder to set the rest of my face, and then after this I'm going to be contouring, and I'm using a different type of brush this time. I'm using like this really small flat brush from Mary Kay, and I'm using this to get like a sharper line because I feel like my contour goes too far down my face and it looks really messy. So this helps me make it a lot cleaner, and then over top I can just use like a fluffier brush to make the lines less harsh. Next, I'm just applying some blush, and I know it looks bright in the package, but as you can see on the face, it's really pretty and like warm toned. I don't understand why people don't use blush, because if you don't, it leaves like that really weird gap in between your highlight and your contour. And there I just showed you guys the clip of the lashes that I was using, and then here I'm just applying highlighter. Lastly is the star of the show, which is the red lipstick, and this specific one is the MAC lipstick in the shade Ruby Woo. It's one of the retro mattes, and as you can see, it is so pretty. It's like the best red lipstick ever. I really wouldn't recommend any other one. It is expensive, but I think it is totally worth it, and that is the entire look.